Marques Brownlee, or as Will Smith likes to call him, Mark-ass Brownlee, has recently came out with his side of the honey scandal. If you know, there was a huge thing going around with honey, and Marques Brownlee got stuck in the thumbnail as well with his eyes hollowed out like he's Herobrine or something. But now he's came out with his side on it and how they basically duped him as well. The honey scam explained.
All right, so if you've been online in the past week, you've probably had some headline cross your path or in some way been recommended to watch the video about
Mr. 95 in a 39 speed zone. He did acknowledge that, to be fair, in a previous video. He did actually acknowledge that.
The greatest scam in the history of the creator economy, or whatever else it's being called. And it's actually kind
Who did they stick in the thumbnail again?
of an incredible story. It's around one of the
They sticked Mr. Who's the Boss, Linus Tech Tips, Mr. Breast, Mark Ass Brownlee, and then Mark Rober. I don't know what's going on with Mark Rober at the minute, but I just say that like Reddit at the minute absolutely hates him. They just think he's turned into like a tech Mr. Beast or something.
And it's actually kind of an incredible story. It's around one of the biggest YouTube sponsors.
Dude, his camera is so high quality. I can see like every single follicle on his head. 4K is crazy.
Ever. It involves almost every high-profile creator that I can think of, including myself. And it kind of came out of nowhere, surfaced by a creator called Megalag. And yeah, that is me in the thumbnail. So you're probably...
I like how they had their eyes removed so they look absolutely demonic. I remember a video of Mr. Who's the Boss where he went around like a UK prison saying how good it is. It really did seem like a very dystopian video.
Probably wondering how we got here. So let's just break this down. It's all around this company / product called Honey. And
Fear and Hunger 2 trailer? Is there a new trailer for it? What?
if you somehow haven't heard of Honey,
They look like Herobrine. They actually look like Herobrine.
up until this point, here's what it claims to be. And I'm specifically using that phrasing. It's what it claims to be. Honey is a free browser extension that claims to find you the best coupon codes at checkout when you're buying things online. That's the pitch. So, you're checking out some online purchase and there's that box to input coupon codes. So you go to checkout on Amazon or Best Buy or whatever it is. And if you have Honey installed, you hit apply Honey at checkout and it goes through its huge database of all the coupon codes it knows about and applies the best ones there to save you the most money on your purchase. Seems great. It's one of the most popular browser extensions of all time. It has 17 million users in the Chrome extension store
There's no way that it beats AdBlock. There's no way it has more than AdBlock.
as of right now. It's insanely popular. And they, for years, have also had a massive budget to pay creators as well to run ads on YouTube. So they have also become one of the biggest, one of the most proliferating?
Did anyone come out saying how much they were paid by Honey? I imagine they weren't.
Prominent. They've been one of the biggest YouTube sponsors of all time. And one thing about being a YouTube creator, and I can attest to this, is sponsors in general are very important to the business, but can also be very difficult to work with all the time. And so if there is a
I don't think I've worked with a single sponsor in my life where I haven't had to make like 5 to 10 different alterations to a script.
sponsor that comes around,
I did this sponsor recently for like a Game of Thrones thing. I think it was a video on the main channel, the Game of Thrones match 4 Candy Crush game, whatever it was. And I made like a script that was actually pretty funny. We put some jokes in there and they just said like, remove everything, only put in the talking points. And I was like, I mean, I could say this now because like, I've done the sponsor, but it's like, I said to them like, you guys do realize that no one is going to download this with the script that you've made. This is so fucking boring. And I think people that watch like a lot of YouTube every day, they get that sixth sense of when an ad is being played and they will immediately keep hitting the arrow key or double tap on their phone to skip. That's what I do. That's what most people probably do now. I thought like, at least let me make it entertaining so I can like, actually hopefully get some more people to download this so you can actually come back to me in the future. And I guarantee no one downloaded that game. Probably less than 100 people, despite the video having over 1 million views. And I also guarantee that they will probably blame me for it and never want to work with me again.
and starts doing ads that is very easy to work with and just gets it, like just lets the YouTuber do their thing, very lenient. Word about that gets around. And so I'm about to talk about all the horrible...
I skip all the sponsors. Yeah, same, genuinely. Just because there's just so many. And again, I'm a hypocrite because I take sponsors as well. But yeah, like when I'm watching content, it's like you do get a feel of like when a sponsor's coming and you get ready to like preemptively skip. People that skip sponsors that I have in videos, I don't blame them genuinely, because every YouTube video is sponsored. I don't blame you. Did you get to watching Savage Land? Thank you, Ranger, for the 10. I skipped through it. I'll be honest, it didn't really interest me, man. I'm sorry.
Horrible things Honey did in a second, but if you want to give them credit for anything, it's that they were very YouTube forward. They were one of the most YouTube forward marketing companies ever. In the Mega Lag video, he goes over it. Apparently,
the Internet Historian ones are funny. Yeah, his were actually watchable, and then I stole them from him, and then he called me out in a video like years ago.
There were hundreds of creators across billions of views across all the videos they advertised in, including 3 of my own. More on that later. But unfortunately, there are 2 major, extremely shady...
Can you check a game on Steam called Detention? It is basically a horror game set in 1960s Taiwan. I think you'll like it. Awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Cat, for the 10. Yeah, I heard about Detention. Apparently it's a good game. I don't know if I'll check it out, though.
Things that Honey has been doing this entire time. One of them kind of behind the scenes, and the other just in plain sight. So the first thing had to do with affiliate codes. So now again,
Hello,
if you
Mr.
spent a lot of time online, you've probably heard about these a lot, but if you have, the way this generally works is if I'm a creator and I make a video about a product and I have an affiliate link to that product and you click it and then go through the checkout and buy the product, I will get a small kickback for referring you to that sale, almost like a car salesman will get a referral or a real estate agent gets a referral. Same idea.
I think comparing yourself to a used car salesman is one of the worst comparisons you could probably ever make.
And you can even sometimes see...
Like, we know how scummy car salesman tactics are and the monopoly that they own on things.
The little affiliate code up in a URL bar when you're clicking on them and checking out. It's very common. This is how they're supposed to work. Now, there's lots of other complicated dynamics and variables even within that system. But the bottom line here is lots of online retailers have affiliate programs and encourage people to use them. But Honey, the thing about Honey is they were always the last step before checkout for basically every online purchase that the people who've installed it are.
Been watching since he was 10. Oldest bro is like 16 or 17. I feel so old. No, I'm rotten, bro. I'm 27. I'm rotten.
Making. So if you went to click
on you, Terry, for the 24
on that link in a video and even click a creator's referral code, no matter what, if you click apply Honey at checkout, they would remove the creator's affiliate code and replace it with their own.
No!
Every single time. So they collect the affiliate revenue for the sale on every site. Thank
you, Ranger, for the 10. You've been watching James Gunn's Creature Commandos. Is that the, that's the animated show I keep seeing TikToks of, I think, right? With the funny glow-in-the-dark skeleton man from Batman of the Future.
Every time, no matter who actually referred you to go buy that thing.
I might watch
Already that. Incredibly slimy behavior, very behind-the-scenes shady stuff, and that by itself would be enough, I think, for basically any creator to hear about that and stop working with Honey. Like that, just that one thing would be enough. But like I said, there's 2 things. So then number 2, okay, so think about this. If you are an online retailer, you actually don't really like Honey, right? Like this is a web browser extension that a bunch of people have that every time they buy something from your site, it like goes through and makes sure that they apply coupon codes, which takes away from your bottom line and makes sure you make less money. So
I'm barely paying attention to what he's saying. I just can't get over like how high quality his camera setup is and how high quality his mic is. Like this is some high level of autism where he's like min-maxed everything in a YouTube video. It's incredible.
It's not their favorite thing in the world, just by default. So Honey, with all of this leverage, they would go around trying to convince stores and online retailers to partner with them. And one of the...
You can count the beard hairs, literally.
Key benefits of partnering with Honey was that you get to choose which coupon codes show up in Honey's database for all of its users. So that means if there's a 20% coupon code and a 3% coupon code, you're definitely going to make sure only the 3% coupon code shows up for Honey users by default. So this This specific doublespeak, I think, is worthy of using the word scam because we use that
So they were purposely showing them lower percent coupon codes when they could have shown them higher ones.
word kind of loosely these days, but this sort of doublespeak of out of one side of your mouth, you're telling customers you should use Honey because it can make sure you get the best deals and coupon codes whenever you check out. And on the other side of your mouth, you're telling retailers you should partner with Honey because you can prevent customers from getting the best deals and coupon codes when they use Honey. They can't both be true. It's basically Honey going up to these.
I don't get it. Explain it in critical terms. I need critical here.
So basically if you got the one coupon code for 3%, you couldn't get the one for 5%. This is like the time Meryl Streep shown her skirt at the Oscars and everyone laughed at her. Like, you just wouldn't do it.
Stores and being like, hey, just give us 3%, give us 5% commission on your sales, and we'll make this coupon code problem go away. That double messaging is the core of why Honey is being called a scam. It's because you have to be lying to one of those sides to make any of this work. And I'll give you a hint. They're lying to
You should check out Generation
users. So they
Zero
are
if you
stealing
haven't.
from
It's an
creators
open
and
world
journalistic
Sweden
outlets
slot
to anyone
game
that uses
takes
affiliate
place in
codes by
Sweden
poaching their
during the
affiliate
70s,
revenue.
where you fight robots
And
during the
they are
apocalypse.
clearly not giving the
I give it the 10, Anon. Generation Zero. I'll check it out.
best coupon codes and discounts to users because of the way they operate. I think, obviously, if I had known any of this, I never would have worked with Honey, and neither would the creators who did, but
No, Charlie worked with them. No. I mean, to be fair, he got a 10 mil view video talking about it, so basically just like got all the money back.
creators who did, but clearly nobody knew
I even thought at one point that I was sponsored by them, genuinely. Because I can't recall, but I can't recall.
about this going on because according to that Megalag video, again, like I said, they've sponsored 5,000
Oh, does it show the earnings, though? Does it show the earnings? Oh. Hang on a minute. Let me go on the Mega Lag video and see if the document actually shows how much money they were paid. I don't think it will. Yeah, look, it's not in his video, like, at all. Was it just like sent to YouTubers or something? Like where?
about this going on because according to that Megalag video, again, like I said, they've sponsored.
Oh, I think this is probably something he included in the video, but he purposely didn't show how much these people were paid. Okay.
5,000 plus different videos, which ended up totaling nearly.
Damn, H3 was like the second biggest. That's crazy. Anthony Padilla, Hopescope, I Did a Thing, Sophia Nygaard, Cody Ko, unlucky. PewDiePie, Jontron, Jibby, Trash Taste, David Dobrik, Michael Reeves, Mariah Elizabeth, The Game Theorists, Hacksmith Industries, Shane. Yeah, yeah, Shane Dawson was a huge Honey shill. I remember that.
8 billion views. It's crazy in hindsight how much they've pulled this off.
I didn't even know H3 makes videos. He has a podcast. He's got a podcast that does really well. There's when you've got a podcast that's successful, uploading like actual YouTube videos is just completely redundant.
Just being super easy to work with and then doing all this behind our backs. I think Austin Evans said it best, and
like that's why people like Logan Paul and stuff just aren't YouTubers anymore. They'll upload like once a year, but they'll do like podcasts every week and stuff.
his video,
H3 fall off is insane. I see this get brought up a lot. I don't believe it. I think he's just had a huge shift in his. I think he's just had a huge shift in his demographic. I don't think he's fell off at all. He still does incredibly well. I see people like talk about him every day, and that means you have not fallen off when that happens. I think he's obviously stopped uploading his normal content. Because imagine, he's probably making more now in a day than he would in like 3 months back when he was like at his like peak, what people think. And then like when you're making more money, like your priorities change and stuff. Like he is definitely, like with the amount of members and stuff he has, he's making absolute boatloads from that podcast and the merch. It's the same reason why like Logan isn't a YouTuber and that anymore either.
they're paying creators up front for the ad and then stealing from their back pockets. So what do we do about it? What is the actual answer here? I think obviously number one is uninstall Honey if you have it installed. If you didn't ever install Honey, good for you. Keep it that way. And then you can actively go around and tell people, like warn people not to install Honey because it actively takes away from the blogs and creators that you could be supporting. And then for me personally, so I had 3 videos sponsored by Honey. These were all 4+ years ago. They were all in 2020 around the same time. My Poco M3 review, my Moto Edge Plus review, and my Galaxy S20 Fan Edition review. So 3 smartphone reviews. These were all back in the brief period where I was working with Standard.
How much were you paid? Marques, Brownlee, how much were you paid?
And I'd actually almost signed up to do 2 more in 2021, but then I stopped working with Standard. Long story. But what I've done is I've gone back and with YouTube's editor, you might know this, you can trim out sections of videos. I have removed the Honey ads from those videos.
I don't care. How much were you paid? Speak! Speak to the court. How much were you paid?
In the name of not accidentally promoting Honey any more than I possibly could. Now, of course, I know not everyone can do this. Like there are creators with various amounts of involvement with Honey. I think LTT was one of the examples from...
It's kind of genius, like how like YouTubers will just never say how much they got paid from Honey because it just removed. Like he could tell you right now that he's removed, and I don't blame him for this, by the way, but he could tell you that he's removed all this content from the YouTube videos through the studio, trimmed all of it out, it's gone, no more promotion. But then if he followed up or prefaced it by saying how much he was paid by Honey, no one would care. They'd be like, no, we don't care. That bag that you got makes you incredibly unrelatable. You're only doing it now because they got exposed and you don't want to have heat on your ass.
The Mega Lag video, they had like dozens of videos sponsored by Honey. So it would be, I mean, it would take longer. I guess they could do it, but cutting all those ads out is challenging depending on how the ad was put in the video. And they also unfortunately paid for a custom video that they could use on their own YouTube channel to run as an ad. So I can't remove that one, unfortunately. So that
the amount they get paid is so stupidly high. It'd be hundreds of thousands at least, probably $500,000. I'd say $500,000, I think, considering how much money that company has. Like, please don't get it twisted. I know I sound like I'm pocket watching a lot, and I am. I definitely am. But I think it is like a bit of an elephant in the room, right? Like, no one's really talking about... If I got involved in a scam with a sponsor, I would be transparent and be like, this is how much they paid me. I just straight up say.
Sucks. But the lesson learned here definitely is for myself and basically every other creator who got with working with Honey is to be even more skeptical about the products and companies that we actually put in front of our audience, especially if they're going to be sponsors. Like, I think we can appreciate that it's not super hard to vet these things. We can dig in and use the products, for example, that we're going to share. And even with Honey, like I installed it, I did.
You can't disclose? Yeah, you can. You can, once the contract expires, you can. You can, like, yeah, like some of those videos are from years ago. You definitely would be able to.
A few things, bought a few things, it worked, so
I've never had a contract in my life that says you can't disclose how much you were paid.
Fine to me. It's a no-brainer. Other creators love working with them.
The reason why creators don't is because it just makes you incredibly unrelatable.
But
because you can try to be like, yeah, I tried to clean up here, but wait, you got $200,000? Ew. Okay, you're not relatable anymore.
Clearly, nobody had seen the things that they were doing. Very few people, anyway, had been aware of all the shady stuff that they were doing, or we never would have worked with them. Like, there was a few murmurings in some threads from a few years ago, and there was a hilarious clip of Markiplier from like 4 years ago being very suspicious of them, but still...
I like how even he watched the critical video for like 2 minutes.
Still nothing ever really came of it until this Mega Lag video surfaced everything. So shout out to him for actually going in and showing the affiliate code poaching and for doing the research for all of this. He says he has more videos coming up on this too. I think the crazy thing to me is just that it was all happening in plain sight. Like this, Honey was owned by PayPal, and this wasn't like some shady thing they were doing on the side to win some extra revenue that PayPal didn't know about. No, this is their revenue. Like this is the thing that they do to make money. This is their business model. So uninstall Honey, stop using Honey if you already have it. Don't install it if you weren't going to. And yeah, time to get super selective about sponsors on YouTube, especially in 2025. For me, that basically just looks like being extra committed to the long-term channel.
Yeah, I think what I've started to do and what a lot of YouTubers have probably started to do now is actually research the people that they're working with. Because what have we had that's a scam? We've had Honey, we've had Established Titles, we've had BetterHelp. Established Titles was crazy. Do you remember that? That was like over a year ago now, I think. But I mean, I've still got my poster over there, my Established Titles, my certificate of my dog that died. Like, I never worked with them because I realized that they were a scam, and I was like, oh wait, no, I can't work with you guys, because they sent me the deed first. But yeah, it's just crazy. I feel like any sponsor that I get now, I definitely have to do research on them to be like, okay, so you're clean, right? Just at least so there's some deniability on my end. So it's like, if anything does come out, it's like, well, you hid this from me. You know, I was very open about this.